What's up, guys? We're back. I'm going to do a crafting and a mining video today. Mining's a really easy way to make money, and crafting is a huge part of this game, but it's also super easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and make a Zeon character this time, and let's do Mr. Miner. And since we're doing a crafter, I'm going to go all luck, because if anyone's attacking me, I just want to be dodging. So like I was saying, here's the 4 Zeon cities as well. You got Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane, and Darwin. So we're going to go ahead and start at Darwin, because we're going to go mining, and both of the best mining cities are kind of towards the north here. Oh, dim wonderful city logos. Okay, so, you know, as you can see, basically the exact same setup. A bunch of NPCs and same kind of looking buildings and stuff. Alright, so open up the transport list here. Both factions have 2 mining camps that they can go to, which are owned by their quote-unquote faction. And then the opposite faction also has a supply camp for these corresponding mines to raid them. So keep that in mind. The best camps on the map are located at the war zones of Newman and Richmond. And that's where we're going to go right now. So we're going to head to Newman. And since I haven't marked anywhere, I have to fly to Newman Camp. And that'll actually put me outside. When you don't own, like Zeon owns both Richmond and Newman right now. When you don't own the warfare zone, you can't use any of the buildings inside of it. So it's a little bit harder to mine. You can do it. It's not really worth it, but. All right, so here we are at Newman. And we're going to be landing, like I said, outside. So each faction has a camp outside of each one of these war zones here. So, go ahead and grab a plane to fly in with. It's the easiest thing to do if you haven't marked the hangars here. And then we can use the buildings inside. Like, don't fly out here to go mining and then drive a mining vehicle all the way in, because it'll take you forever. See, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We'll go with the closer one. Hey. Alright. So grab a plane. And we'll go fly in. And so if you'll see here, it says caution failed receiving. These war zones have Minovsky particles. So you can only see friendlies on your radar. You cannot see enemies at all, which makes them quite entertaining. Alright, here's the main area. So what we can do is we can throw this bad boy in the hangar here. And while you're in here, you can also grab a taxi. And we'll go grab a mining machine. And to get out of a taxi, type /getoff. Alright, so at the machine shop here, come over to vehicles, and this YDD614 is the mining machine. And to use the mining machine, you'll also need from the weapon shop, I think it's under, yeah, tank fighter, mining drill parts. And these also wear out, and I think you can only equip one, right? Yeah. So for now, we'll just grab one. This is a big part of the game. Not so much mining, but what I'm about to do, and that is involved with scripting, and it's just to make your life easier. And I can post a link to the mining script here. That's pretty basic, and it'll just get you started. So a good place I remember was over here against this wall here. Alright, so to start mining, what you need to do is find a spot, and you need to turn your weapons on, and then type /mine. And you'll have this little progress bar come up, and it takes, I think, about 12 seconds or so, 10 seconds maybe, I'm not sure. I don't remember. And then it mines. Now, I don't have any mining skill, and that's basically what that error was. It says, you know, you didn't come up with anything. So this is something that you can do with a script and kind of just go AFK for a while and let it do its thing. Once you get some mining skill built up here, which is under miscellaneous, you'll start pulling up items, and once you get higher mining skill, there you go, you'll start to pull up rare gems, and those are what's really worth your money. However, all these raw materials that you're getting right here, you can refine at a refinery. Oh yeah, right, makes sense. And you can save yourself even more money on materials for building suits and weapons and stuff like that. So you can actually be pretty much totally self-sufficient and not really have to buy anything from a shop for crafting other than engines, basically. And if you do enough NPC hunting and you're getting level 4 engines, which are the fastest in the game, and only drop from NPCs, then you'll be completely self-sufficient without having to buy anything. Alright, so this is mining. It's really basic, as you can see. I'm just doing /mine over and over and over. And it may seem a little slow, but you know, you put on a script and let it run, you know, go AFK, run some errands or something for a little while, and you'll come back, have a full container, and have some money to make. Bauxite, iron ore, and rutile don't really sell for too much. Luna titanium does without having to refine it. So even if you're not getting gems, you're still making money. These aren't worthless, but they're certainly not worth as much. All right, so that's pretty much mining in a nutshell. So we're gonna move on and go back to town, and we'll start doing some crafting. All right, so we're back in Darwin. Grab a taxi here, and what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go grab a car from the machine shop. Now I'm gonna grab a car instead of a mobile suit because they have a bigger container size. And they also do not give you a loss if you're blown up by someone else. So if you're trying to you know, have a nice spiffy rank on your crafter, sometimes you might want to go ahead and just use a vehicle instead of a machine per se. And the cars have 16 size container and the trucks have 20. So go ahead and grab a truck. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started here and pop our radar open. See if we can see somebody coming before it's not too late. So what we're going to start with is refining. And that pretty much all involves materials. So you're going to want to grab raw materials. And as you can see, you can only buy these 3 at the shop. So you have to do the higher refining materials, you need to do mining. You will need to mine. So next, what you do is find a refinery, which is not on this side of town. Okay. here's the refinery, and it's called the raw materials factory. So you can see these cars turn like boats. All right, here we are at the raw materials factory. Now, just like mining, you can script a lot of this crafting, pretty much all of it. So what you can do is if you get this green hand here, that means you're actually selecting the raw materials factory. That's what you have targeted, quote unquote. And if you type /refine, it'll open the refining window. And vice versa, if you're doing it just by hand, you can just double click on that. So to refine, super easy. Hit that button, choose which one you want to do. Since I don't have any refinery skill, I can only do alumina and steel because they both require zero skill to do. And as you can see, basically all it is clicking through windows. A good thing to do if you're doing it by hand, or if you're going to craft, or if you're going to macro, excuse me, is to get these windows set up in the same space. So when I click on this, it's going basically to the next button. And then the last button is pretty much right where the other ones are. And what that does, it just makes it super easy for macroing because you're only looking for one space. And then you're also just clicking in one area instead of all over the screen. All right, so once you have this window open, what you're going to want to do is get these windows kind of settled on top of each other. And what that does is it just makes it easier for you to get through them. And since you only have 0 refinery skill, you can only do these 2 materials. And as you gain more skill, you'll be able to do more and more materials. So we'll go ahead and start with alumina, which is based off of bauxite. And when you're starting off, it's best to just do one at a time. So 2 materials to make one. And the reason for that is you'll get more skill updates. And as you get up to about probably 5 or 6, you want to start doing maybe 10 per combine instead of 2. And eventually, unfortunately, it becomes best to do almost an entire stack at once. And as you can see, sometimes you can fail. And like I said, crafting in this game, super easy. There's nothing to it. It's just going through these windows. It's a grind, but it's an easy one. It's not involved. All right, so that's basically refining, and we're gonna move on now to weapons. All right, so again, it's basically all the same. I mean, nothing really changes. Just the locations and the factories that you're using. So I'm pretty sure this one is developed. Yeah. So the weapons in the machine shop are both, or the machine factory, excuse me, are both, when you target them, are /develop. Same thing with this one. Kind of get these windows lined up here. And the first ones you can start off with are under the tank fighter, and this is tank fighter cannon. These, I'm not sure. Let me see. We'll find out. So as you can see, this one's arms construction. And again, all the crafting is the same. It's just going through these menus. I believe the non-EX tank fighter cannons are worth nothing. So when you're starting off, you can just drag and drop these non-EX ones out. And what an EX weapon is it's just slightly better than the normal version. It's either got increased damage, increased range, increased accuracy, just something like that. EX weapons are always better to have than normal weapons. So there you go. It's all pretty basic. So we'll move on now to the mobile suit crafting, and I'll be back when we have we're over that way on that side of town. All right, and real quick before we move on to machine and mobile suit crafting, which is the last one, go ahead and sell these weapons off. And as you can see, the tank fighter cannon non-EX is worth nothing, but at least you can get some money back from the EX versions. So to do the introductory machines here, it's best to start with the tanks. It's just easiest. And what you're going to need for those are tank engines. And it's best to do, when you're leveling crafting, to use level 1s. And then anytime you're making a custom suit for yourself, like a custom mobile suit, you always want to use level 3 engines. Let's see. Oop, what? Wrong shop. And then we're also going to need some... Oops. I can sell this other stuff back. Some super high tensile steel. So I can sell those. And buy some of that. Maybe. If there's any money left in the bank. And mobile suit crafting is pretty much exactly the same, except for there's this extra dismantle option here that really does help in the beginning. And then after a while, it's best to sell the mobile suits back. That way you're not losing too much money. So like I said, start off with the tanks here. And on the EF side, it's like the Type 61 custom or something like that. And then, let's see here. Okay. And don't worry about battleship construction. That's just kind of an extra stat. It'll just boost your rank. It doesn't do anything. And then my suggestion when you're starting off with these tanks is to dismantle them. So get that on the right one here. Okay, and before I do that though, as you can see, there's an improve option here. When you get high enough skill, usually it's a few skill points over the requirement. You can upgrade, which is the improve option here. And if you look on the machine window, so if you see here, you got the 3 ratings, and it's power for damage, hit for accuracy, and defense for hit points. And if you upgrade just one of them, you can upgrade it 8 times with what's called a rare part. And there's a specific rare part for each one of these. There's one for damage, there's one for accuracy, and there's one for health. Or you can upgrade 7 times across the 3 of them in any fashion you choose. You could do 7 in one, and 0 in the other ones, or any combination. So if you want to keep something, if you hit take out, it'll go directly to your hanger, and you can see that right there. So there's a lot of stuff in Japanese, but like I said, most everything you need to know is in English. So there's really, it may seem a little overwhelming at first, but it's actually really easy to get into. So this one, we're going to go ahead and dismantle it. And if you'll see down here, you get another skill chance at updating your skill. So that's why it's beneficial to do this at the beginning. Because rather than getting just one chance at getting a skill point, you can get 2. That's pretty much it, guys. That's crafting in this game. That's refining, mining, machines, weapons. Clothes crafting is a little bit more involved, so I'll go ahead and do that right now. Oops. All right, we're over here in the tailoring section, and this sewing shop here is what you need to get the crafting materials for tailoring. So we're going to need some cotton yarn, and we're going to need some basic color dyes. And these, as you can see, do not go in your container. They go into your backpack, which is also where your money on your character is stored. So again, tailoring is just like the other ones. Alright, so you come over to the tailor shop here. And this works just like the other ones. And we're going to do a cap here. Set correct. Alright. And these, this is kind of why you do tailoring. Some items you can only get custom colors through the tailoring system here in the crafting system. But over here at the apparel shop, there are some basic clothing items you can get to kind of pimp out your little paper doll, like this little character. So we'll go ahead and make this one. And as you can see, like everything else, it's just clothing manufacturing, and it's the same process, same kind of basic idea. And that is all of the crafting in this game. There's only those 5 options. It's really simple, it's really basic, and it's really easy. So what I'm going to do next is I'll give you a little tour of the city here and kind of show you the points and the buildings that are around town. Alright, so here we are in our Zaku, and what we're going to do first is we're going to go grab some weapons. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the machine shop. Can't fit through there. Got enough ups? Oh! And you can do here is do /getoff. And we're just gonna littering and. Alright, and we're gonna come over and grab, oh geez. I don't remember what you don't need a skill for. I think an R2P? Yeah, cool. Alright, grab an R2P Zaku, it's a little bit faster. Alright, so, well, let's grab some weapons here. So as you can see, the machine shop has ready-to-go machines. Pretty self-explanatory there. Weapons, again, ready-to-go weapons. That seems excessive. I don't think you're supposed to have that many crackers on you. Oh my god. Alright, so to use crackers, those are the grenades. You need to have a throwing device. And this machine here, you can see, has 4 manipulators, so it can have 4 weapons equipped at once. So we'll go ahead and grab a heat hawk here. And this one can actually use the Zeon beam rifle. So if you're training a Zeon character and you want to focus maybe on Gelgoogs or the aquatic suits, which can use, let's see, which one is it? The mega particle beam guns here. So if you're going to go for those suits, you can grab an R2P as soon as you can and one of those rifles, and that's a great way to get started. So, you know, basic ER kits, some beam ammo here. Let's see, let's grab one more thing. Grab a machine gun. Alright, get all this equipped here. Throw our beam rifle number 1, heat hawk 2, 3, 4. Alright, and one cool thing about the grenades in this game is they're actually an AoE device, and you actually have a range. You can throw them a little bit ahead of you. You can also throw them up in the air. So they're pretty useful against cars, and that's about it. But yeah. Alright guys, that pretty much covers everything in the cities here. Next video I'll do will be some advanced NPCs and hopefully show you a little bit more of the better loot you can get from NPCs beyond just basic weapons and ammo. After that, not too sure I'll be able to do anything until the server launches. I don't have any characters that are PvP ready to go right now, so fortunately I can't really show off too much of that. And there's also not too many other players playing. So I need you guys to hop on here and you know, check it out and get ready for the server launch in May, and we'll all start killing each other. So until then, happy hunting and good luck.